Okay, everyone. Welcome to the second week of this from 0 to 100 master class for AI. So this week we will introduce you to large language models. Uh, so let's first do some recap of the last week. Last week we introduced what is AI, and if you want to build a chatbot using rules, how would you do it, and how ChatGPT was built. So basically, to answer these three questions, so number one, what is AI? So it is basically artificial intelligence, and that is to simulate what brain works, right? So that is AI. So we use computers and a lot of programs to simulate how human react to different questions. Does anyone remember uh, a very important test to check if a chatbot is a real human or a robot? Does anyone remember the name of the test? You can unmute yourself or put it in the chat. Yeah, the name of the test was Turing test. So we uh, look at it. So last week we introduced some very early chatbot. So that is like ELIZA. ELIZA was built in MIT in 1966. And recently, people try to revive the code that they used very early. That was like 50 years ago, right? 60 years ago. So they revived ELIZA and tried to compare it with the current uh, GPT model. So, so this is a plot showing that how many people out of 100 would think that this is a human. So you can see that so ELIZA, in fact, is not that bad, right? So it is about 30% of the people would think, well, ELIZA is a real human. And by comparison, if you look at like GPT 4.0 today, it's very similar performance when you have no persona ingested into a model. So in fact, ELIZA did a pretty good job. So that was rule-based model that was invented about 70 years ago. So it did a quite good job. But if you look at GPT 4.5 with persona, that was released this year in February. You can see that the winning rate, the AI winning rate, is 73%. So that means out of 100 people, they would think, well, about 73 of them would think, well, I'm talking to a real human. I'm not talking to a robot. So that is what GPT 4.5 had achieved today. So that is a huge improvement, right? So right now, people basically, most of the people cannot distinguish the difference between a GPT model and a real human. Yeah, so that is the situation right now. And the last week also, we talked about the shift of using rule-based model from ELIZA, right, to the model that we are using today. So today, our model is trained. So you do not explicitly give it all the rules, right? You just give it a lot of data and ask the model to learn from the data. And for the hands-on project last week, we did image classification using teachable machine. And this week, we will also use a teachable machine to build another model for pose classification, so which is a little bit different from the image classification we did last week. Okay. Okay. So for this week, we will cover several topics. Part one is what is large language model? And the part two is the way to large language model. So basically, how it was built. So how big is the model and how big is the data? So I want to give you a direct demonstration of how big the model and how big the data is. And the number three would be the hands-on project. And the instruction for the hands-on project has been given to all your parents through the WeChat channel. So you can have so they can better help you with the project. Okay. Uh, so first, let's deep dive into what is large language model. Uh, so if I just say large language model, so does anyone want to talk about what that means to you? So this is my understanding of this problem. So you can have your own understanding. So for me, large language model is basically the brain of ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, Grok, Llama, DeepSeek, and the Q1 models. And it is a super big model that learn from huge amount of text data. So uh, what does it mean to you? So I don't know if you have ever heard of this term before, large language model, or you just have heard like a ChatGPT, something like that. So probably not like a large language model. So anyone want to give some response to this? What does large language model mean to you? Or have you ever heard of it before? And any response? Zachary, have you ever heard of it before?
Yeah, I think I heard it from one of my friends, but I've never really known what it meant.
Oh, okay, good. Thank you. Thank you for your response.
Um, uh, isn't like large language models like chatbots like ChatGPT and stuff?
Okay, yeah. So right. So it's for a lot of people, it just means ChatGPT, right? Yeah. Thanks. Thanks for the response. Yeah. So if we look at this term, right? So large language model. So basically, the three words would tell you what it is. So number one, it is large. So how large it is? Uh, Super large, very large. So we will uh, deep dive into the exact how big it is later. So number one, it is very, very large. So it is not only large in terms of size, but also uh, it is trained on huge amount of data. So the data size is huge as well. So that is large means what large means. And number two, it is called a language model. So basically for human beings, so we mainly have two channels of information input. So number one is your eyes, right? So that is vision. And the number two is language. So for a human being, I think about like 70% of the information is from vision, from your eyes. But the remaining, almost all of the remaining, about 20 something percent are from the language, from the text. And basically what we are doing now is that we use all the text data to train a model. So that is why it's called a language model. So large language model and LLM for short, it's basically, it tells you that is a very big model that trained on a lot of text data. So it is not trained on vision data, like images. But so if you want to input image data into a model, then that is another kind of model that is called like a VLM, so vision language models. But we can touch that later in our course. But for large language model that we are talking about now, So that is basically a very big model with a lot of data, and that is trained on. Yeah, so we have several very famous large language model now. And one is ChatGPT. So I think almost all of you have heard of it. So it is invented in OpenAI, and right now the version is like GPT-4, and there were earlier versions like from 1, 2, 3, 3.5, etc., and different kind of versions like minis or something. That is basically tells you how big it is. So it is mini, it means it is small. So ChatGPT is very popular. I think almost so it is the pioneer in this field. And the number two is Claude. So it is developed by Anthropic. So it is also very good. I think it's at a very similar level as ChatGPT. And it is good at specific areas, for example, coding. So it's very good at coding, and it's very good at following instructions. So for some specific use, for example, if you want to do coding, then probably Cloud is a very good option. And the number three is Gemini. So Gemini is invented in Google, and it also perform very well. And especially it can deal with a lot of huge amount of text or data and other images, audio, etc., videos, because Google has all this huge amount of data. And so, and besides, it is integrated into the Google services. So when you search on Google right now, basically what you input will be given to the model to get the answer. So it's very convenient. So pretty good. Please mute yourself. Okay. Next is X. Uh, XAI has invented Grok. Grok is super powerful now. Yeah. So I think we have Grok 4 already, and it is basically led by Elon Musk. So it has its own feature, and it's also good at the specific tasks. If you are interested, you can give it a try. So, and all these companies, they keep their models as a secret. So they just you can just use their model. You
我
cannot
唔要聲音，
get
佢啊，你刪咗佢啊。
so you cannot get the model.
唔知啊，你自己
But if you, for example, you want to host your model on your computer, or you want to keep your data as a secret, so you do not want to send anything out to like ChatGPT, you can try some open source model. So open source model means that the model is public. The model, anyone can use the model for any purpose. So it is super convenient. And there are three most popular open source model now. Number one is the Llama from Meta. So it has been leading for a long time until I think recently DeepSeek and the Q1 model they become very powerful, and they are really leading in the leaderboard for the open source model. So DeepSeek and the Q1 they are in China, and the Llama is in the US. So basically, the competition is between China and the US. So that is the situation right now. And for people in academy or in industry, if we want to really like tweak the model a little bit, right? So you have your own data, and you want to use that data to train your model. So we usually would go for the open source model that we are listing here, like DeepSeek or Q1, or sometimes Llama, or etc. So that is the situation right now. Okay, we have talked about what is large language model, and the second question would be how to make it, how to make the large language model, right? So this is basically the problem we all already touched last week. So if you remember this plot, that shows basically all the models are trending this way. So you have a data set, right? And then you have a neural network. And based on the data set, you can train the model. How to do that? So you ask the model to make a prediction, right? So you give it an image or a text saying, well, what's next? Right? Make a guess, etc. And the model will make a guess. And if it's correct, then we do nothing. And if it's wrong, then we ask the model to make a revision so that it can make a better guess, right? So that is basically how the whole process works. And we have seen that, well, in the very beginning, we have very small models, and we now have very big, deeper and wider models with a huge amount of data. So does anyone want to guess how big the model is and how big is the data? So let's assume, okay, if you have, so last week we trained a model, okay? So you also tried to download it. Download your model to your computer, right? So that model is about 5 megabyte. So you may remember that model was about 5 megabyte. Do you know how big is the biggest model right now? So let's assume that you have a 5 megabyte data that is about the size of an ant. How big is the model, the biggest model right now? So if it was an ant before, and how big is the current biggest model? Does anyone want to give a guess? Mia, do you want to have a try? We made a ant model last week. How big is the model right now? Or someone else? How big is the animal? Think about all the animals of the whole world. How big it is now? What is the biggest animal you have ever seen before?
Polar bear?
What?
Does it have to be sea?
Hmm? 变形. Okay. Yeah, let me give you an illustration. So last week we trained a model about the ant, the size of ant, right? So it was about 1 million parameter. And when we increased it by size by 10 times, right? So that is about the size of a mouse brain. So that is 10 million parameter. Then it is more capable, right? So last time the model was only able to distinguish between like a 2 or 3 or several classes, but we can go bigger, and it is more capable. And if we reach like the size of a dog, the dog's brain, right? So we need about 1 billion parameters. So that is 1 billion is 1,000 million. So that is 100 times bigger than the mouse. And it would be the size of the second generation of GPT. So it's not ChatGPT yet, but the second generation of the GPT. And if we go to 10 million, so that would be size of an elephant. So it is very huge, but it is still the small model today of this size. So if you go later into our course, we will introduce you a lot of the open source models like Llama 4, 8 billion parameter, or DeepSeek 7 billion parameter. So this kind of data, this kind of model can be run on your laptop and on your desktop, or even some of the very powerful iPhone or other cell phones. So this is a sweet spot for now. So the size of an elephant brain. And if we go 100 times bigger, so that would be the size of a blue whale brain. So that is the largest animal on the earth now. And in fact, the GPT-3, it has 175 billion parameters. That is 1.75 trillion. So it can handle almost everything we see right now. So that is 1 trillion parameter that we see. Not 1 trillion. Oh, sorry, it's not 1 trillion yet. It is
1.75.
Yeah, sorry, it should be 0.1. Yeah, sorry,
1.75.
sorry, I made a mistake. Yeah, and the biggest model right now, that is 10 trillion. So basically, no animals on Earth are of that size yet. So this is maybe some alien's brain that would be super huge, super powerful, but that is what is powering probably the ChatGPT or the best model we see right now. So that would be like 10 trillion parameters. So you can see that the scale will be very big compared to the model that we trained last week. So you can think about it, right? So basically, but we have good storage now. We can store it very well. For example, if you have like a, so we will learn how big the model is on your hard disk later. But for now, you know that, well, the size of the animal will give you some direct impression of how big the model is. So we have known that the size of the model matters. And how about the data? So how big is the data? Okay, to measure basically how big the text data is, we need first to understand what is a token. So I think you all have gone some places for arcade or other kind of game machines, right? So you need to put a token into it to be able to gain the credit so that you can play the game, right? So that is called a token. For in language, when we talk about a token, so it is basically a tiny piece of a text. So it could be a word like a cat or banana, or even part of a word, like if you have a very long word, right? So you can break it into several pieces. Like unbreakable can be broken into 3 pieces. So that would be 3 tokens. So 1 token is on, and the second token is break, and the third is able. So why we use token? Does anyone have any idea? Why don't we just use word? Why do we use token here? Hoffer, Ethan? Yeah, go ahead.
Because tokens are more simpler, and then words are more complex.
Yeah, exactly. So that is the reason. So for example, you can have like millions of words, right? But you in English, right? So, but basically you have only 26 characters, 26 letters, right? So all different kind of words are represented using just 26 characters. But if you are just using one character, then that is, you do not carry a lot of information. So that is why we want to find something simpler, but more informative. So that is why we invent token here. So it is sometimes a word, but it can help you to decrease the size of your vocabulary. So in the vocabulary, you can see that, oh, well, I have so many words. But for token, we can make it very simple, much simpler. So on average, one word is about 1.3 tokens. So approximately, right? So it's one word is 1.3 tokens, about one. So that is basically what a token means. So that means if you have one token, that is about 0.75 of a word. Yeah, so that is one token. So make a guess. How many tokens are there in one book? Does anyone want to make a guess? Think about it. How many words are there in the book? So find a book, right? Some book like this. Find a book. How many tokens are there? Or how many words are there? Then that is approximately how many tokens are there. Alisa, do you want to make a guess? How many tokens are there in the book?
Um, like maybe if it was like a small book, maybe
Yeah,
like
just a small book. Yeah, think about it. One small book. How many tokens are there?
like maybe 50.
How many? Yeah, totally. Yeah. Yeah, Harvard, make your guess.
13,000.
10,000?
13,000.
30,000. Well, very precise. Thanks for the guess.
No.
Very close. Yeah, let's take a look. How many tokens in the book are there in the book? For a kids chapter book, so you would, I think probably good for like a 7 years old. The chapter book would have 10,000 tokens, and for a novel like a Harry Potter, so that would be 100,000 tokens, words, and 130,000 tokens. And for very big textbooks, so it's smaller than Harry Potter, so that would be about 300. It's bigger than the novel, so that would be like 300 to 400 tokens. So that is the size, right? So you have a rough idea. So in the book, you have 10,000. So if you have read up one book, you have read through like 10,000 words already. And for Harry Potter, so that is 10 times the kids chapter book. Then because it has many chapters, right? So that is 100,000 words. So that is how big a book is, right? So you have an idea here. Then how many books are there in the library? So that depends on what kind of libraries are there. So for the city library, it will have about 100,000 books, right? So if you read one book a day, and you want to finish all the book in the city's library, you need, like, because you have 365 days a year, and that would means to finish this, you need probably like 200 years. right? So if you finish one book a day, you need 200 years to finish a city library. So that is the situation. So if you really like reading, and after you can read one book a day, and for your whole life, you can probably finish just 1/3 of a city library. So that is the size of reading human can do, right? So because reading one book a day is already a lot of work. Basically, you need to spend almost all of your time reading the book, right? And for a national library, so it has much more books. So that would be 35 million books. So it's impossible for any human to read them all. So that is the situation, right? So people have made so many books right now. So it is impossible for a human to read through them all. So that is how big the information is all over the world right now. But that is not the biggest library yet. The really largest library of the whole world now is the internet. So the internet has about 150 million books, and that amount to 20 trillion tokens. So 20 trillion tokens is the biggest information we have of the whole world right now. So that is about 5 times the size of the National Library. So that is basically impossible for you to read it through, right? But this is the size of the data we use to train our model now. So basically all the information from the internet, we use all this information to train our model. Yeah, that is basically what we are showing here. We use the whole internet so that we can use about 20 trillion tokens to train a very big model. So the model is a trillion parameters. So you can see that, right? So the two numbers do not differ too much, right? Using 20 trillion tokens to train a trillion parameter model. So that the compression rate is about like you compress 20 tokens into one parameter in the large angle model, right? So that compression is not big. But if you go smaller models, the compression is very big, right? So you can compress it like 1,000 times smaller. So basically, the training process is to compress the information into the model. Okay. Any question here? Any question?
Make me appear. Make me appear.
Yeah, go ahead, Mia.
Aren't some words the same in books? Why are there so many tokens?
Because you have many words, and so you have many words to make a sentence, and many sentences to make a chapter, many chapters to make a book, and many books, different kind of books, right? Harry Potter, 1, 2, 3, and Magic Tree House, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and Wikipedia, a lot of different kind of informations. So that is, yeah, good question. So right, you have only like 10,000 frequently used words, and you can use all these words to make different combinations, to make different kind of sentences, and use different kind of sentences will make such huge amount of data. Yeah, I think you're right. So there are a lot of duplicates there. So out of the like 20 trillion tokens for the internet, a lot of people would be saying similar things like hello, right? How are you? But there are duplicates there. But you can use all this data to train your model. So your model will see some words more often, will see some less frequently. It will learn at what situation you should say what. So that is the situation for training the model. Yeah, good question. Okay, let's think, see the question. Is okay. Okay. Okay, I think we have answered all the questions. Yeah, then comes our next question. So basically, you have a very big model, and it is trained using huge amount of data, right? So the data might have some duplicate there, but we want it to be diverse as possible. Then our next question is, what can a large language model do for a student like you, right? Like everyone here. So I have made a cloud plot here showing the most frequently used examples for ChatGPT or any AI tools we have now. So basically, the most frequently used scenarios are, number one, to start a paper or project. So, for example, your teacher gives you an assignment saying, well, your project is to study like the water situation in the Africa now, right? How can you get started with that? So you can, without ChatGPT, what you usually do was to like Google, right? So you can find a lot of information there. But with ChatGPT now, basically you can ask the model to help you, to get started. I think that once you get started, it gets easier. Basically, you have some framework, and then you can fill in the details. So that is one usage. And the number two is to summarization. So as we have demonstrated before, right? So if you are very good at reading, you can finish one book a day. You can only finish like 1/3 of the library of the whole in the city library for your whole life, right? So, but you do not want to spend all your time on that. So you cannot digest all the information that is accumulating every day. So how do you do that? The summarization is a good usage of the tool. So if you can summarize like all the news today, right? Summarize it into several important points to me. That can greatly speed up your reading. So summarization is a good usage. And then number three is for brainstorming and the creative project. So sometimes you have some initiative to make something interesting, right? So you can play with your AI assistant to come up with some creative ideas. So it can help you no matter to initialize the project or to make it more interesting or more feasible, or help you find all the tools that you need to finish your project. So that is another good usage. And then number four would be to explore different topics. So information retrieval to get all the information you need. And once you have written your, no matter report or essay or anything, you can ask the model, ask ChatGPT or Claude to help you edit it, to do proofreading, to help you make the writing more precise, and help you structure your writing. Basically, all these things can be done there. But I want to warn you, don't solely rely on ChatGPT in writing, because that would make you very dumb. You would be the dumbest people in your whole class if you just use ChatGPT. Because we have already seen a study there showing that if you
use ChatGPT for writing, then your brain will not be so active. And then after a while, you become very dumb. So you only know how to talk with ChatGPT, and the ChatGPT does all the work for you, right? That is not good. So you need to do your part. So you need to do the writing. So you need to ask the model to help you. It's not just ask the model to do everything. So to keep your brain healthy and being a smart student, okay? So try to use AI smartly instead of making yourself dumb. And also, it can help you to do math. So for example, if you see a math equation that you don't understand, you can take a picture and ask the model, ask ChatGPT, oh, can you explain the equation to me? All right, what does it mean? So it can help you with that. Also, when you are having an exam tomorrow, you can ask the model to, for example, explain something that I don't understand, or give me some questions and test me, and you can give it the answer, and it can help you judge if it's correct or not. Okay. And also you can do research, you can do essay drafting, all these kind of things. So it's up to you to practice. You can try it in different ways that can best for your brain and for your final presentation. Okay, so make good use of your AI tool. Yeah, for our hands-on project. So that is a good use of the tool. So I want you to try it and use the AI tool in the correct way. And we will come to the project after 5-minute break, okay? So now take a 5-minute break, and when you come back, we can work on the hands-on project. Okay, let's resume our class. So let's look at all the hands-on project right now. So the hands-on project is has 3 parts. Number 1 is your teacher assign a project to you. The teacher is me now, or it could be your future teacher. So your teacher at school assign you any project, right? Think about it. No matter it is very specific or very vague, you can ask your AI assistant to help you with this. And my question for you today is to please give me a report of different human poses. Right, so I'll give you some hint here, right? So the human poses, in fact, it is very diverse, right? So when you are walking, right, you have different poses. So when you try to do some specific spot, you have specific poses. You are doing yoga, you have specific set of poses, right? So if you are doing other activities, so they have their own specific poses. So I would like you to use your AI assistant to come up with a set of different poses and choose one kind of human poses. I think more specifically about about the activity, right? For example, doing yoga or doing dancing, right? So yoga, dancing, or playing basketball, etc. Right? Try to find all the related poses for that activity and find their example pictures. So you can use ChatGPT or any tool to help you with that, or like Google Gemini, etc., to help you with that.
So that would be the part one. Part two is to train your model to identify the different poses you find, right? So you can use the teachable machines here as we used last week. So basically, I will give you a demo later so you can follow. Basically, after you get your data and you train your model, then you can have a model that is working, that is on your website. And once you have this model, you can think about, can you invent an app to make use of this model? So can you think about some innovative way or some real problems that you face every day so you can solve with this model. So that is your challenge today. Okay. Okay. So first I will give you some kickoff kit. So number one is to go to ChatGPT demonstration. So okay. I love ChatGPT here. G.com. So log in to your ChatGPT and start a new chat. So I will ask ChatGPT to do this. Give me a list of different poses for different activities being creative and creative. Find the relevant images for all the poses. And I want to enable web search in the tool.
Could you copy this sentence to the chat?
Yeah, sure. So this is just a reference, okay? So if you find some prompts that work better, then try your own. So this is just a reference, okay? Well, this is too creative, I think. Too hard. Okay, so this probably not a good one, so we do not want it to be creative. So we just define it, don't be creative. So, okay. 6 stand poses for everyday activity. Number one is neutral portrait pose and sitting at the desk, walking, running, yoga, etc. Okay. That is still not exactly what I want. So let me find another one. Okay, so find the activity. So try the prompt for different poses. For example, for dancing. and just focus on dancing. So it will give you some example. Okay, then it will give you some very hard poses. Okay, yeah, and their specific names, right? Then using the pose model, then you can go to the teachable machine and open a new project, and you can choose the pose project. Okay. So last time we were working on the image project. This time we will work on the pose project, and we'll load. Then you have different classes, right? Then you can. So one option is to try the upload one. So you can download the images from here and upload it to your model as a data set. Otherwise, you can make some simple ones, right? For example, you have ballet brisk. Okay, so let's do it. Do it here. So the first class would be ballet brisk. Okay, and then you can use a web camera. Right, so it can show you the like you can see your pose in the web camera, and there is a hold to record here. So ask your parent to help you with this, to help you. So while you are making the pose, right? So this should be the pose like this, this, and then take a picture. Creative and stretch a little bit, take a picture of your different poses and hold to record. Okay. Yeah. Can someone come here to help me? Ethan. Ethan, can you come
Why
to
me?
help me?
Oh,
Okay, let's okay.
让你小雨你去
Oh,
摆
okay.
摆 pose，我来帮你
You
做。
okay? You make a pose, okay?
你到后面去，这个太近了。
Like make a pose like this.
啊，你要侧边，侧边，然后去远一点，往那边去。好，
Does it recognize you? It seems it does not recognize your feet. Can you first stand? Yeah, then yeah, stretch your leg, stretch your leg. It does not recognize it.
because of the white. I think because of the white. This
It does not recognize your feet. Anyway,
maybe because I'm red.
you try it.
No, he can recognize my feet too.
Okay, the model does not quite work. Then try another way, right? So we just put it stand here, stand, and take pictures. Okay, then move a little bit. Move to the left, and Okay, let's make the second class as a squad. And the web camera. Okay, quote to record. Yeah, quote to record. Okay. Then after taking a few pictures, then you can train your model. Okay. Yeah, let's train the model. So it will show you the progress of your training here. Don't switch tab while the training is going on. Okay. Stand. It seems not distinguishing the two. Let's add another class. That is hands off. Okay. Hands off. And take pictures with your hands off.
Up.
Very high. Yeah, hands off. Then train a model. Yeah, it's going on. So about the 20% finished. We'll give it a few seconds. It should be finished. Okay. Hands up. Yeah, good. Oh? Okay, squat. Squat seems to work. And standing seems not so distinguishable. Okay. So this is your hands-on project. And the follow-up question is, can you find a way to make good use of this app, of this model?
It doesn't really work when I do like this squat.
Works. I think it maybe because of the background, it's not
Yeah.
very clear.
Yeah.
Maybe
测到那个脚和腿。
Okay.
应
Okay.
该是这个 background 太白了。
Okay. Now we can go to breakout room. Okay.
妈妈，咱们上去。
And finish the project. And after you finished, I will give you a demo of some apps that are making use of this model to give you some idea. Okay, so let's go to breakout room. Let's have 3 breakout rooms. So if you want to change the breakout room, let me know. I will assign you to a different one.
I want to join breakout room 4.
There are no room for now, so please go to room 3.
Is room 3
I
the
should go to room 2 or 3.
but like is the room 3 like the Chinese?
Room 3, you can do Chinese in room 3. Yeah. Mia, do you Can you go to room 1? Mia, are you there? And Stu, do you have any problem joining the room, the breakout room?